welcome to another episode of WYTPod. My name is Harshit, and I'm the Director of Business Alliances at WytLabs. We're a digital agency specializing in SaaS and e-commerce SEO. I got Pedro with me today. He's the VP of Marketing at Colossia. Now, they basically help you create engaging learning experiences with AI videos. So, big welcome to you, Pedro. So happy you can join me today.
Great to be here. Thanks very much for hosting me.
But now, Pedro, you carry years of experience, more than 15 plus years of experience in the SaaS niche, right? So what key insights have you gained about aligning marketing strategies with, business growth, especially in a high growth company you're currently in?
Great question. I think over the years, I learned that marketing can't operate in silos, right? True alignment comes when marketing deeply understands the business's core needs.
Yeah.
So, start with revenue targets, customer acquisition goals, and overall strategy. At high growth companies like Colosseum, it's even more critical. We move fast, we iterate quickly, and marketing needs to be a strategic partner to product, to operations, and to sales, obviously.
Yeah.
So not just the execution engine. That means focusing on data-driven decision making, consistently testing and optimizing campaigns. Um, for sure.
Okay. Now because you've led across tons of marketing teams, right? Your product and your business development, how do you ensure like a seamless collaboration between, these teams altogether, multiple departments, and drive that, unified growth altogether?
Yeah, good question. I think for me, it comes down to three things: shared goals, open communication, and mutual respect.
Mhm.
At Colosseum, we establish clear OKRs, so objectives and key results that cascade down from company level, ensuring everyone is rowing in the same direction.
Yeah.
We foster open communication through regular cross-function meetings, shared dashboards, and a culture of transparency. Lastly, we recognize that each department brings its unique expertise to the table. Marketing understands the customer voice, product knows the technical capability, business development and revenue um, identify strategic opportunities. So by leveraging and respecting everyone's diverse perspectives, we can truly unify growth strategies that are greater than the sums of their parts.
Okay. Any specific tools that you use to facilitate your cause altogether?
Yeah, we use Notion, so that's basically how we keep everything up to date. We do OKRs there. We do a lot of alignment. So from a communication perspective and ensuring that we are aligned, that's a powerful tool. We also use Metabase, so that's where unify all of the data. So there's only a single version of the truth. Data cannot be your own. That's always shared. So we're always, in terms of accountability, looking at the same information.
Right. All right. Now, what has like the most rewarding or the surprising part of transitioning from roles like VP of growth, uh, at Solido to VP of marketing at your current company?
Yeah. The most rewarding part has been the opportunity to apply my experience in a completely new cutting edge space.
Mm-hmm.
AI video creation. At Soldo, like the focus was on expense management. I'd worked in the fintech space for a while. I was at Rapid, I was at Revolut. So previously to that, I'd been at Box, which was around content. So there was an area that I was very passionate about. But during my time there, AI was very nascent.
Mm-hmm.
So the opportunity to join Colosseum and then work on the democratizing video content creation was very exciting.
Yeah. All right. Now I see, Colossian basically has a good organic presence as well. All right. You are driving good traffic, decent traffic from Google, right? Organically. So, how do you approach, your SEO? And I do know for the fact I have had few of the guests from the, you know, not exactly a competitor, but like at least an overlapping business to yours. And I know the space is way too competitive as well. So what unique strategies have really helped you out to, stand out in this competitive space?
Yeah, that's very true. Like we are in a crowded SaaS market, so standing out requires a multifaceted approach. At Colossium, we focus on creating high quality, authoritative content that's genuine, that feels approachable, and it addresses specific needs for our audience. This includes in-depth guides, tutorials, thought leadership pieces that showcase the value of AI video creation.
Mhm.
One of our unique strategies that we found to be effective is focusing on long tail keywords. So addressing specific pain points that our users have when it comes to video content creation. We focus on how I create videos for learning and development rather than video creation. Additionally, we leverage our product capabilities, so AI and easy localization, as key differentiators on our SEO strategy.
Yeah.
An example of that is we created glossaries for AI terms and for video terms that are very easy to localize across multiple languages, and can drive a lot of traffic. We also kind of focus on things like our webinars, bringing in subject matter experts so that the value, and then taking those pieces of content to generate blogs, articles, and also resharing on social.
That's brilliant. Now, you're also investing a lot on the paid front as well. Like you do drive, like, although like I understand the budget might vary month on month, but you do drive significant traffic to your website through paid channels as well. So how do you balance like your paid versus your social versus your SEO?
Yeah, it's about finding the right mix for our specific stage of growth, really, and targeting, know, the right audience. So our SEO is a long-term investment that builds on solid foundations of organic traffic.
Mhm.
Paid acquisition, on the other hand, provides more immediate results. So it allows us to test different messaging, targeting, and different targeting strategies very quickly. Social media is crucial for brand awareness, engaging our community, and driving traffic to our content. So we view these tactics as complementary, not competing. We use data to understand which channels are driving the highest quality leads and adjust our budget allocation accordingly. Um, so that's kind of like how we try to approach and balance both strategies.
Gotcha. And what is the most rewarding channel for you if you have to like, rank them in order one, two, three? When it comes to, both your cost of acquisition plus like, the quality of leads that being delivered, right?
Yeah,
The quantity as well. So please.
for sure. I would have to say that when we look at it from a kind of revenue and both pipeline perspective, PPC is still leading the way. Our content and SEO strategies are very fast catching up, but not quite there yet. So we're getting a lot of organic and direct traffic from, for example, mobile.
Mhm.
Um, which it's super cost effective. We actually get good traffic and from the right audience, but we have very low conversion.
Gotcha.
While our PPC strategy really focuses only on desktop, and that just happens to convert much higher. So from a return on investment, PPC like gives us that control of getting the right audience in the right device that drives higher activation and higher conversion to paid.
Gotcha. Gotcha. And Pedro, tell me one more thing. Like, are you limited to primarily inbound strategies, or like, are you also exploring or like executing outbound strategies too for your, demand and your lead gen?
Yeah, we're doing both. So We've started investing a lot more on ABM, so account-based marketing, being very focused and strategic as part of our demand generation overall strategy. I think for us, it always starts with content. Content is the fuel. So if you have really good content and you're providing value, it makes it a bit easier. When you reach an audience that may not be under a buying or consideration cycle, and you're trying to make them aware of the problems that exist, right? Making them aware of the innovations that are on AI, on video, trying to create this like understanding, then going deeper into the problem. Like you're missing out because your high cost of video production through the traditional process, but and then educating them around the alternative, right? Which is you can do AI video. So that's a kind of like a long process if you want to do it right, because you can't rush
Yeah,
people
for
to
sure.
just go like, hey, you've never heard of these, come and do a demo with Colossian. So um, it's really been like 2 quarters of work or investments that we put in into demand generation. We are seeing leading indicators, so we're getting demos, we're getting high engagement from the audience, but we're still in the kind of testing and evaluation phase.
Okay. Any specific tool that you're using for your ABM, strategy?
Yeah, we recently brought on board Ample Market for the outreach, and this is kind of like BDR led. We are a HubSpot house, so all of our campaigns start through there. We started experimenting with Breeze, which I guess it's the Clearbit acquisition
Yeah.
to do our account mapping and targeting. We use other tools that were kind of like experiments with to understand intent from ZoomInfo to Clarizen to Clay. So there's the tech stack is not fully finalized. We're all just doing a lot of testing right now.
Yeah, no, I get it. Like it's still like, few early days for you. So I understand, like,
Exactly.
take time to develop and perfect. But yeah, now I'm gonna be a little biased, talk again about SEO, right? So how do you think like AI has basically impacted, your SEO strategies, or are you leveraging AI? First of all, that's the biggest question, for your SEO. Both in terms of like say, when it comes to the optimization or just helping you out, building the content, increasing your visibility and all.
Yeah, great question. The answer is it has had a profound impact. So on the content optimization side, AI tools help us identify keywords. We're a big fan of things like Surfer, SEO,
Yeah,
analyze competitors' content, use and even generate content outlines.
yeah,
Um, this allows us to create more relevant and targeted content more efficiently.
yeah.
Like in terms of discoverability, AI powered search engines are becoming more sophisticated and understanding user intent. This means we need to focus on creating content that answers users' questions in a more comprehensive and user-friendly way. AI is also helping us personalize the user experience on our websites, so improving engagement and conversion, which has had a positive impact on our SEO.
Gotcha. Gotcha. And like, are you mixing your like video content as well with SEO? Like, I just want to understand your point of view, like how exactly videos are helping you gain, visibility, not just limited to SEO, but also, like people, there is a big shift towards Gen AI platforms too. So yeah.
Yeah, for sure. These may no longer be true, but YouTube used to have be the second most popular search engine. So people would search Google and then they would search YouTube. It's probably been overtaken by TikTok. Uh, so I don't know, but maybe. So we invest a lot of on YouTube because we are primarily the B2B. We focus on like LinkedIn and YouTube. So for us, doing YouTube SEO, like or content optimization we did there. So for every video that we post, ensuring that we're optimizing for keywords, we're putting through transcripts and so forth. That's a very important part of our strategy as we are a video company.
Gotcha. Now, you have led several product-led growth strategies in your previous roles as well, and quite successfully. So, how do you apply, your PLG principles at your current, company when it comes to like, your SEO and your content strategies to drive both, engagement as well as acquisition?
Yeah, I'd say PLG and also so this sort of content of like product-led sales is at the core of what we do. So we
Okay.
believe that the best way to demonstrate value is to let users, or we call them creators, experience it firsthand. Our SEO and content strategies are aligned with this philosophy. Create content that educates users about the benefits of AI video creation, guides them towards our free trial, um, and then once they are in the product, we provide in-app guidance, resources to help them succeed. So
Mhm.
try to get them from sign up to value as quickly as possible, and then to continue receiving that value while they're in the product. This seamless integration between content, SEO, and the product experience is what drives acquisition engagement.
Gotcha. And when it comes to basically your life cycle management, right? How do you think like your SEO is contributing, right? Most of the people focus on primarily that three funnel stages like awareness, consideration, or decision, right? What are you like kind of like actively putting down effort, say maybe like what happens after they make the purchase, right? Other stages throughout your client's journey with your platform. Thoughts, please.
Yeah, for sure. For us, in terms of the customer experience, it really starts when someone converts to paid or becomes a customer. That's just the beginning, right? So, like SEO plays a crucial role throughout the entire customer life cycle. While, like, top of the funnel traffic is important for building brand awareness, as you said, attracting new users, we also target specific stages of the funnel with our SEO efforts. For example, we create content that addresses specific pain points that users might incur during their evaluation phases, such as providing different AI, comparing different AI platforms, other tools that might actually help them with their video creation process, understanding what like a good video looks like. So we have a lot of content specific to that. We've invested on what we call the Colossia Bootcamp and our video learning center. So that content is really there as a helping hand to get customers and prospects to accelerate their time to value.
Uh-huh.
Now, we also have content that's tailored to existing users, providing them with tips, best practices, help them not just on the kind of onboarding, but also with retention. And ultimately, we want those customers to become advocates. We want them to share their content or the videos that they create publicly. We want them to promote the Colosseum brand by based on what they actually create. That's the best way that we can drive additional growth is through this concept of like user generated content.
Gotcha, gotcha. And any specific kind of content that you prioritize, right? When it comes to like your overall mix as well, like whatever resonates best with your audience, please.
Yeah, we always try to listen to our audience is telling us.
Okay.
So this could be through understanding support tickets. So if they're having challenges, how can content help, right? Can we create knowledge-based articles that will answer those questions? Can we improve the in-product experience so they have that information as part of their journey? Can we update our bootcamp and our like video learning center so that's
Yeah.
printed there? Is conversations, not just from kind of support, but also SDRs, sales, the customer is always telling us what they need, and that basically guides what we should prioritize to address their pains.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. And Pedro, like you've been in company for long now. Are there any specific challenges, like some of the challenges that you might have, overcome in the recent past or some time back, right? And what were those, biggest challenges, and like how exactly, what was the process behind? How did you overcome them? Anything that you would like to highlight?
Yeah, I think bringing it back to our strategy of growing sustainably.
Mm-hmm.
And to do that, we love PPC. It helps. Like as a growth hacker slash VP of growth, AdWords, has really been a powerful tool throughout my career. But so is SEO, and it's very hard often to move from one to invest in the other. So one of the biggest challenges that I have right now is like the sheer volume of content being produced
Uh-huh.
out there, right? So everyone's vying for like top spot on search result pages. Like to overcome this, SaaS companies need to focus on creating truly exceptional content
Yeah.
that stands out from the noise, right? This means going beyond superficial keywords optimization and creating content that's insightful, origin, and genuinely helpful to your target audience. That's why I was always saying that like it's down to what the customer is asking, what the challenges they're having, and your customers, your prospects, people using your product for free, they will guide you if you listen. So so it also means building a strong brand and establishing authority in your niche. We can't be everything for everyone, so we focused in the last year around workplace learning. There's a reason for that, right? We wanted to understand those specific problems, double down on them to provide value, so we're not just surface level content.
Excellent.
But yeah, this can only be achieved through a combination of thoughtful, um, thought leadership content, partnerships, and community engaging. So for me, the community is every single touch point that anyone that's interested in your brand engages with you. Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, whatever that may be, could be comments on Reddit or Quora. It doesn't matter. Listen, engage, and learn.
Gotcha. And Pedro, what do you prioritize? Like when it comes to your key performance indicators, right? So what are those? What do they look like? And just to make you, help you with making those informed decisions and, know when to
Yeah,
budget or when to pull the plug. Yeah.
great question. I think overall, right, the metrics that matter in a business are the bottom of the funnel metrics, which is always going to be like revenue, pipeline if you're doing a direct sales motion, number of customers, or active, they're actually active. But when we're looking at like SEO, um, the reality is you need to start at the top of the funnel. So, we focus a bit on organic traffic. Is it growing? Is it coming down? But we segment that by key regions based on our kind of ICP. So we're investing a lot in the US, the UK, well, the EU region, looking at our like keyword rankings. So, and are we ranking for the right keywords that really drive conversions, or are we looking for keywords that generate a lot of traffic but actually don't convert that
Makes sense.
much, right? And then we look at backlinks. Um, that's also important from a kind of authority perspective, but we want to make sure that those are on high reputation sites rather than just having a sheer volume of loads of links. So those are kind of the key things, but always comes down to conversion rates. What is the content that is converting the most to signups, converting the most to book demos, and ensuring that those are then going on and converting to either um, meetings booked with our AEs or actual revenue in the long term.
Gotcha. And what's your go-to tool for, just keep an active monitoring to like your SEO performance? What are those?
Yeah, we use the kind of standard ones like Google Analytics, Um, ah, sorry, we're gonna have to do a bit. So Google Research, Google Search Engine, SEM Rush. So those are the key ones that we use for monitoring our SEO performance.
Gotcha. Now, because your product allows for quick, cost-effective video creation, how do you see video content evolving in SEO primarily, right? And do you believe like video will become more prominent, especially in search engine algorithm moving forwards? Although like Google has been pushing it a lot, right? In regular searches as well, there are if the keyword resonates well, you do see good video snippets, right? But what are your thoughts? And you mentioned a very good point when it comes to like YouTube as well as, people do search a lot on that, right? So yeah,
Yeah. I feel that video is already a major part of the online experience. And its importance in SEO will only continue to grow. Yes, we talked about YouTube, but search engines are getting better understanding video content overall, and users increasingly prefer to consume information through video. I have, some younger friends who they do all of their searches basically on TikTok. It's like, how do I fix X, right? So just because people now want short, concise content that they don't have to spend much time reading.
yeah,
So at Colossian, we're seeing these firsthand. Our users are creating videos for wide range of purposes, from marketing, sales, training, and education. So as video creation becomes easier and more accessible, thanks to tools like ours, we'll see even more video content online. Search engines will just have to continue to adapt to this new reality.
gotcha. Now, Pedro, my next question is a mix of two. All right. So, first of all, like your product has a wide usability when it comes to like the industries that it can serve, and like, I'm pretty sure about that, right? I'm sure you must be picking your battles and choosing few specific niches to cater to, right? So, what are those niches that your target ICP belong to, right? And the second question is, whatever those niches are, I'm sure that must also be a bit broad, So how do you cater your content to serve to such, niches so that it resonates really well?
Yeah, great question. So I think for us starts with defining our ideal customer profile.
Yeah.
Um, uh, so we looked at it and we focused on um, we wanted to address the problems of kind of mid-market organizations.
Mhm.
Why we picked that? Because we felt that that was where we could provide the most value. So these are organizations that start having a learning and development team. So the team that will basically that is responsible for the onboarding of new employees, responsible for training of employees, and they're like internal mobility of how do they get progress, how do they learn skills, how do they get promoted. So by focusing on their user needs. What we also did some research was finding that while companies are growing, the budgets for those teams stay stuck. So you're doubling the number of employees, but your budget to onboard the employees is staying the same. So your cost per employee is much lower. So how do you create content that those employees are going to be able to consume and be effective at their jobs? The other key change is um, as Gen Zers join the workforce, the way that they consume information is different. They
Yeah.
went to college and they graduated doing Zoom classes rather than in person, for example. So this sort of like video experience is now baked into how they communicate, into how they work, so forth. So it's also something that we need to consider in terms of how they learn. So um, our hypothesis was like these are the teams that have a lot of content in terms of PDFs and PowerPoints, but there may be a struggle on getting these employees to actually engage with that content on their
Yeah.
own. So what if we help these teams convert all of that content into videos? What if we add interactivity into those videos? That can be quizzes, knowledge checks, it can be branching. So, um, which basically translates to um, build your own story, right? So if you want to learn more about something, you click here, the video changes to focus on that area. So that's really kind of like how we picked our niche. And then in understanding based on those customers, what are the jobs to be done, right?
Okay.
So they have to create videos. They have to update all of that content, which is hard. If you're filming, if you have an SME, you need to book a studio, you need to bring that person back, you need to re-edit the whole video just to keep updated. What if we could replace all that? The SME is a avatar. It can
Yeah.
still be the same person. We just converted them into a digital twin that,
Yeah.
based on the script, you can update instantly what they're saying and generate a new video. So it kind of changes that dynamic of how those people, those instructional designers, can be empowered. So once we learn all that, the jobs to be done, the pain points, the gains that they're looking for, which is I want to create videos faster so that the basic knowledge is passed by video, and then I can have more time to do in-person workshops. I can focus more on individual development with these employees. So that's kind of like one key example. Um, so then on our side is what do those instructional designers need now that we live in a world where the content generation process is different, where the audience is also different, and how they consume content and engage with that content is brand new. So we then focus on developing resources to help through that process. So whether it's guides, our blogs and articles, and share content that other people that have more information than us have already created.
Gotcha. That's interesting. And Pedro, like this is, I think, another good case study as well for the fact that, because you're targeting mid-segment, right? You're not kind of like, much niching down to any specific industry, say e-learning or like, nothing like that, right? You're still keeping it way too broad, right? And yeah, so that's interesting.
Yeah, I think in terms of the industries, the ones we actually picked, we have a certain amount of focus on the industries. So healthcare, manufacturing, education, retail, and technology. The reason we picked those, especially the first four ones, is there's this concept of what we call like deskless workers or like frontline staff. So people that spend a lot of their time not on desks. So if you're a teacher, you are in front of your students, right? You have infinite time. If you are in manufacturing, you may be on a manufacturing floor, a factory, and so forth. So how do we ramp this workforce very quickly? So you can come in, you have a set of videos that show you your compliance, your health and safety, and so forth. When he updates, those videos are streamed to those individuals' mobiles, and they can kind of pick up. So that's our focus is sort of these like industries that have sort of these like deskless workforce, but then also have these L&D teams that need to create a lot of content for those employees.
That's clever, actually. Interesting. All right, now looking ahead, what do you think the future holds for marketing and SaaS? Like, what emerging trends that you're looking into, right? Or the technologies you believe will have, like, the biggest impact on companies? And let's say within the next 3 to 5 years, where do you see that shift happening?
Yeah, I think that's something that as a marketeer, you're constantly trying to like understand and get ahead of it. My feeling is that the future of marketing in SaaS will be driven by personalization,
Mhm.
automation and AI. I don't know if you ever watched Minority Report, and there's this scene where the main protagonist is kind of running through, and there's all of these ads that
Mhm.
are like personalized, and they're saying his name and so forth, right? Um, it feels scary, but it's kind of what people expect. They don't want to see generic messaging, generic ads. It has to be relevant to them, right? So customers expect this sort of personalized experiences, and marketing will need to deliver on that. Automation will play a key role in scaling these marketing efforts and efficiency, and AI will continue to transform on the way we create content. So as we go through, it's not this process of you create a campaign brief, you spend time in designing, and those designs are set, the messaging set. I think it will evolve to become dynamic, right? Like we want people to receive, like you receive an ad that's specific to you with a specific message to specific use case and pain point, even if it is from the same company. It is adaptive. So I think other like emerging trends to watch is this sort of like the rise of uh, increased importance of data privacy, because there's this dual competing trend of people want personalization and things that are meaningful to them, but they also have this need for privacy. So how do you blend both of them? Yeah.
That makes sense, man. I mean, I do agree. Like personalization, although like it has been a familiar concept for years now, right? It has been picking a lot of pace, in recently, and I'm sure, like that is how the trend's gonna go. And people who don't focus or invest on that front definitely gonna miss out for sure. So makes sense. All right, Pedro, we're coming to an end now, and I would love to have a quick rapid fire round with you. Are you ready for that?
Sure. Let's go.
Okay. Who's your favorite marketer to follow on social media?
That's like a difficult question. I think I focus much more on growth. People like Sean Ellis, for example, from originally Dropbox. Um, yeah, so I'll say like Sean Ellis.
Sorry?
Sean Ellis.
Yeah, yeah.
Perfect. Yeah.
Okay. Now, what's the most unexpected lesson that you have learned from a failed campaign?
Most unexpected lesson. Um, Interesting. Um, Often, so we do a lot of experimentation. So every campaign, we start with like a hypothesis where we're setting like we want a specific audience, a specific cost per click, cost and so forth. I think the most kind of like expected is more that you constantly have to be open-minded and continuously learning. Um, we feel that like only about 20% of the campaigns that we run actually achieve the results that we expect. So our failure rate is like 80%. But it's just basically about like learning and not being insistent or letting ego come in the way of like, I'm going to keep doing this thing to fix it, like adapt. So take every learning because it's different on every campaign that we do. So certain channels that we put through, we're 100% sure that was going to drive more work email signups, and they're actually more personalized. Yeah, so as many, but for me is like put ego aside and have a kind of like open and growth mindset. Take learnings from every failure that you do because there are many.
Oh, that's wise. All right. Now, what's a marketing tool or app that you feel you can't live without? Live
I
without.
think from the SEO side, Ahrefs or like SEMrush, we use kind of both of them, and it would definitely be hard to not have them. Um, And then Colosseum, of course, because we use actually Colosseum for a lot of videos that we use for kind of for marketing as well.
Gotcha. Now, if you had an unlimited budget for one campaign, right, what would you do?
Interesting. I think it's always dangerous because I'm metrics driven, so something like PPC you can kind of drive results up to a point where you start getting diminishing returns. From a brand perspective, obviously, I'd love to put in like an ad on like Super Bowl, right? It's at the unlimited budget, get as many eyes on our brand. So yeah, that would be the dream.
Gotcha. Now, because you mentioned Super Bowl, anything like if you have to add on Super Bowl, what that's gonna look like?
You'd be a video, obviously,
Yeah.
made in Colosseum. The idea is, so I'll give you an example. One of my first, my kind of favorite Super Bowl campaigns. It was actually Tubi, where they made these ad where it looked like the Super Bowl game restarted through
Uh-huh.
the ad, right? And then the channel changes. There's me, and I think it was this reaction of shock of people being like,
Yeah.
you started the game and then like it changes to 2B to something else. So it definitely caused a lot of like attention and people like, what is going on? So uh, yeah, anything that drives engagement, everything that drives a reaction, that's what I'll try to create.
And that sticks basically with you, right? You have that brand recollection for quite a long.
Exactly. Yeah,
So
something that people will talk about, even if it made them a tiny bit upset, but then they hopefully will see the funny side of it.
yeah, definitely. All right. Now coming to my very last question, what was your last Gen AI prompt?
Uh, Great. It was probably this morning on checking some of my script for this call, so just like help me make this more interesting.
All right. Thank you so much, Pedro. I mean, I really appreciate you taking time out for this and sharing your wonderful experiences about your company, about the strategies that you've been building and working on, right? Yeah, I mean, thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it.